Hi everyone, thanks for joining this presentation. So the goal of today's video is to present you all the new features of our new release SWOOD 2021. Alright, so let's get started. As you can see, this presentation will be split in three different parts. SWOOD Design first, with the new SWOODBox insertion feature. We'll see that you will now be able as well to insert several identical SWOODboxes at once. Then we'll see that the connectors insertion has been improved. And finally, for SWOOD Design, we'll see that you will be able to drive and change your Edgebands based on custom property. Then, on the second part, we'll see Swoodcam new features with the enhancement of the simulation that will now support collision detection. We have added some automatic machining, such as automatic partial contouring, for instance. And finally, you will see that you will have more possibility and automation to determine the leading point. Finally, on the third part, we will talk about SWOOD nesting. Two new features will be the possibility to create front group and the part ordering, which are the two main enhancements for this new release. Last but not least, you may have seen in this agenda that we have created for each of those products an integrated help document. And we have as well another surprise to present you, so a new tool to create automatically SWOODboxes from a big supplier database of this industry, so stay until the end of this presentation. Alright, so let's get started with the first part. So let's start with a big enhancement for SWOOD Design and the new insertion algorithm for the SWOODbox insertion. So if we have a look at how it works, you can see here in this example with this desk that we will be able to add our drawers SWOODboxes on each of the desk, even if the angle is not 90 or 180 degrees. In addition, you can see that I can select several volumes on which I want to add this specific SWOODbox, which saves a lot of time when you have to call the same SWOODbox several times. So now I'm going to select those volumes one by one here on this desk. And at the end, when I select, we'll be able to see that all my drawers will be added at once. Now let's see, technically speaking, what changes you will have for these new SWOODboxes. So the first thing is about the origin definition. Now you will be able to display where is the origin of the SWOODbox that will mark the front bottom left corner of the SWOODbox. This is what we can see here with this SWOODbox. And if I open this second SWOODbox here, you can see on these drawers that you will have the same origin definition on the left bottom corner. And actually, this new origin definition will come handy when it comes to SWOODbox rotation. So if I insert a SWOODbox that is in front of me, as we'll be able to see here on the left, you can see that the origin definition will be placed automatically properly. But now if I want to do the same on the right, so with this volume that is on the side, you can see that here, the origin definition is placed on the side. But as you can see, you will be able to change it very easily. So you just have to click on it and select now the corner on which you want to have this SWOODbox oriented. So now you can see that the SWOODbox is oriented properly, but if for any reason I want to change the orientation of my SWOODbox, I can just click one more time on my origin definition here and rotate it as much as I want. So all in all, what we can say about this new feature is that this new algorithm will open up new design possibilities because our users will be able to design furniture that will have freeform easily with it. You have seen that the interface is more intuitive and user-friendly. You will be able to apply free orientation for your SWOODboxes. It's now easier to rotate one SWOODbox, and you can as well add multiple SWOODboxes at once. So let's now move on to the second feature regarding connectors. So the detection algorithm have been improved, so the contact surface between edgeband and panel are not taken into account anymore, which will make it way easier to insert connectors on your cabinets with edgebands. You can see the difference on this example, for which we had 3 contact faces detected on SWOOD 2020 and only 1 now on SWOOD 2021, which will allow you to select several contact faces at once easily for cabinets with edgebands. And finally, the last design new feature is regarding edgebands that can now be driven by custom properties. So you can see here in this video that if you go on the Edgeband parameters, that you can now choose this from property parameters. So now that I have chosen that one, you will be able to see that if I go on my custom property there, I will be able directly from here to change my custom property and to drive the kind of edgebands that I want to use. So here for this instance, for this example, you can see that we can change the color very easily. Alright, so that's it for the SWOOD Design new features, so we'll now continue with the Swoodcam new features. And we'll start with the simulation with material removal, which was presented last year. So first of all, what we'll be able to see here is that the laminate texture will now be taken into account in the simulation with material removal. Which means that, for instance, here in this example, we have this table top panel on which you can see that there is a laminate that is applied. And so now if I launch my simulation with material removal, you will be able to see that at the end of the simulation, if we zoom in on our panel, we will be able to display now the result with the laminates on the panel, which will lead, of course, to more realistic results. Now, to continue on the same topic, we have included this year the possibility to detect collision with the simulation. So as you can see here on this video, if we launch our simulation with material removal, we now have these new icons to launch the collision analysis. So now we can see that on the tree view, you can select where is the error collision. So here, for instance, the machining head with the stock. If I select another one here, we'll be able to see another type of collision. So here, for instance, the machining head with the work table. So here you can see the machining head, which goes in collision with the vacuums there. And if we continue now with this other example, we will be able to see that we can detect some other type of collision. So if I open here this panel, and if I launch one more time here the simulation with material removal, I will launch now my collision detection. And so now we'll be able to visualize another type of collision. So here you can see that the tool and the work table collision can now be detected as well. If we continue here, you will be able to see another type of collision. So here you can see that we'll see a collision between the tool holder and the stock. And so you can see that on the tree view, we can display exactly at which step of the simulation the collision will happen. So all in all, what we can say about that is that now the full machining environment will be detected. So the machining head, the work table, the complete tool and the part stock, and that the collision analysis can be run to check any problem that may happen on the machine. The next new feature of this 2021 version is about automatic contour machining. So we'll now have a bunch of new possibilities to automatically detect contour. You will still be able to detect full contour as for the previous version, but now in addition you will be able to automatically do partial contouring, to machine only the part stock, and to mill only the difference between the part and the stock. Finally, in this case, we know that when an edgeband is applied on a panel, it is very important to have the control on the tool rotation direction so it does not rip the edgeband off. So we'll now be able to define complex strategies for your contour depending on where you have applied edgeband on your panel, so if it's on both profile ends or on one profile end. So we'll be able to see now on this video how it works with these new complex strategies that you can apply. So we'll start first with the possibility to mill only the difference between the part and the stock. So for this example here, I have opened this drawers front. And so you can see now that when you define your automatic contour, you can now choose this possibility to mill only the difference between the part and the stock. So now if I launch the simulation on this part, you will be able to see that the mill does not go all around the panel, but it will only mill the handle for this drawers front. And as it is an automatic machining, I will be able to save this strategy on my strategies library and to apply it on other panel. So here I will open my second drawers front, and now just by drag and dropping these strategies that I just created, I will be able to replicate here my strategy to this second panel. So now we'll be able to continue and to see how it works with the Edgebands strategy. So to do so, here I'm gonna open one of my panel of this bathroom cabinets. So here, for example, if I open just this panel there, you can see that I have one edgeband which is applied on my front edge. And if I apply my automatic strategy there, you will be able to see that now, if I launch my simulation, I will use one tool for one side and one other tool for the other side, so that the edgeband is not ripped off the panel. So now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna add another edgeband on my bottom edge. And so now, just by rebuilding my program, you will be able to see that based on this new automatic contour strategy, it will now change totally the strategy that is applied. So now I'm gonna use two different tools with two different entry points on the panel. So now to show you another example, I'm gonna delete here my front edge. And so you can see that now I will have another strategy applied to my panel. And now, finally, you will be able to see that if I delete totally all the edgebands of this model, once again, it will adapt to this situation. And you can now see that I will use the same tool for both of my partial contouring. Okay, so now let's continue with one other automatic operation that were added to this SWOOD 2021 release. So as you can see here, now you will be able to machine your inner contour as a pocket. So basically that means that the tool will start at the center of the inner contour and then go on the outside. So the main reason why we have created that is mainly for panel processing center, because for this kind of machine, you can't have waste material. So that's true for the horizontal and the vertical machines. So for instance, the BHX from Homag, the Brema from BSA, or the CX from SCM. And so as it is another automatic machining, this is something that you will be able to apply and replicate very easily on your projects. And finally, there will be one other automatic operation that will be available within SWOOD 2021, and we have called it Rhythm Corner After Saw. So it's based on groove operation, and it will allow you to speed up and automate your milling process. So if I open up here in this example, this top panel, you can see that I have a groove here for my back panel. So now if I launch a simulation with material removal on this panel, you will be able to see that here I have done this groove with a saw by using the auto groove operation. But you have seen as well that there were quite a lot of left material. So now by adding this resume after saw operation, you will be able to see that if I simulate it, now by using a small cutter, I will be able to remove this left material from the corner to be able to insert my back panel very easily. So now if we compare, you can see that we have close to no material left on the corner. So of course, now we'll be able to show you how to create this new strategy. So if I go here on auto groove, and if I select here my cutter, I will now have access to this resume corner after saw operation, on which I will have a lot of different parameters that I can define. And so now you will be able to see that this operation is included on my tree view. I can display it. And of course, as it is an automatic operation, I will be able to reuse it on all my strategies and apply them on other panels. So now the last new features regarding Swoodcam is about the automatic leading point. So on the last release, you had the possibility to manually define your leading point, and now you will be able to see that you will be able to automatically apply it on the middle of the longest straight edge of your panel. So if we have a look here at this example, so I'm going to take here again this drawer's front. If I here create a contour, so I'm going to use my auto contour operation, you can see that here I have one leading point that is placed on the corner. Now, as for the previous version, I can use the manual leading point. And now you can see that by clicking on this button, I will as well be able to place this leading point on the middle of my longest straight edge automatically. So of course that will help you if you want to always put the leading point on this longest straight edge. So that's it for the Swoodcam new features, and now I will be able to present you the two new features that will be available with Swood nesting with our new release. So the first thing is regarding part ordering. So with this new version, you will be able to choose different options when it comes to part ordering. So the first possibility will be to base this part ordering on cutting order. We'll be able to base it on the board's corner direction. You will be able as well to choose which direction you want to use for those 4 boards corner. You will be able to define in configuration files those part ordering. And finally, it will be customizable and editable during the nesting process. So as I was saying, the first options here will be to base those part ordering on the cutting order. So here on this example, you can see that we have a very custom order which was based on the cutting order, and we'll be able to use this order for the part ordering. The second possibility will be to base it on board's corner direction. So if we zoom in here on this window, you will be able to see that here we have this possibility to choose which corner I want to use. And I will be able, in addition, to define on which direction then I want to start the ordering. So here, again on this interface, I have the possibility to choose this direction, and based on the direction that I will choose, I will be able to have different results to order my parts. So let's see how it looks here on this video. So here I have one nesting results that I have displayed. And now if I go on my manual nesting capability there, you will be able to see that if I select one of my board, I will have access to these new icons here on the manual nesting, which we have named ordering mode for reports. So here you can see that I have a bunch of different parameters. So here, if I choose to define it totally customly, then I will be able to choose which corner I want to use. So here it was the bottom left first, but I can change then, for instance, to bottom right. And you can see that at the moment, the direction is the X direction. So the parts are going to be ordered based on the corner and on the direction. So here now you have the example with the top left corner and the X direction. And finally here with the top right corner and the X direction. But you will now be able to see that we can change this direction very easily from there. So now if I do the same with the Y direction, you can see that the order that was created automatically is totally different and is based on this new direction. So if we see here a last example, you can see that if I define here my bottom right with the Y direction, I will have this result there created. So now the second main enhancement for Swood nesting is regarding front groups. So these front groups will be available based on automatic parameters that I can define. We will be able as well to manually change those groups. We'll be able to merge and dissolve groups that were created automatically, and we'll be able as well to choose the panel that we want to have on the groups based on custom properties. So it will be particularly useful when you want to match grains, for instance, or drawers front when they are on top of each other. So here on this video, first we'll be able to see how to define those custom properties. So here I'm gonna select different fronts, I'm gonna just here change my custom property. So by selecting this front group. And so now if I go on the list of the custom property, you can see that now here that I have this is front condition that is set as yes. So now if we have a look on an example, so here we have this kitchen island. I'm gonna open it. And we can see that here there will be different front group available. So if I now go on my nesting, and if I create a nesting based on this assembly, so this kitchen island, you will be able to see that by right-clicking here on my assembly, I can now edit my front group. So here first I can detect automatically some groups. So here you will be able to see the parameters that are available. So based on the grain direction and the distance with the neighbor's fronts. And so now that I have some groups that were created automatically based on the custom property that we had defined earlier, you will be able to see that we can now as well manually change those groups that were created automatically. So if I right-click here on one of my group, you can see that I can easily then create a new group, and then by selecting some part of the group and drag and dropping on this new group, I can now manage those groups very easily. So now you will be able to see on the other side that we can do the same by dissolving or merging group. So here I'm going to create a new group, and again just by drag and dropping those groups, I will be able to create exactly the group of front that I will want to use on my nesting. So here you can see that I have dissolved one of my group, and then I can recreate it very easily through the options that are proposed with this new feature. So now if I validate those results, so these front groups, you will be able to see that when I rebuild my nesting, and if I open my manual nesting, now here my front groups that were created are now together. And so if I change the position of one of the panel of the group, of course the other panel will move as well on my nesting board. So now the last thing that I wanted to show regarding this new feature is that you will be able as well to apply some specific settings on each of the groups that were created. So here if I select one of my group, for the example here I'm going to change the tool diameters of this specific group, and if I rebuild my results, you will be able to see it now. If I go on the same board, the nesting result will be different based on these new parameters that I have chosen for this group. So here you can see all the groups that were created. Now last but not least, as I've said as an introduction, we have added some in-context helps for all the SWOOD features. So of course, we will have those in-context helps for SWOOD Design, Swoodcam, and as well SWOOD Nesting. So if we have a look at how it will work, basically, for each of the SWOOD features, you will have this question mark button on each of the features, and on this question mark button, when you click on it, it will open an in-context help. So you have an example here, so you will see that there are some animated GIF that explain all the features of the different modules. And so you can see that we have 40 different context helps for SWOOD Design, 54 context helps for Swoodcam, and in addition, we have as well added a SWOOD Getting Started guide that will allow you to step-by-step create your first cabinet based on all the SWOOD features that are available on the software. And so finally, the last thing that we wanted to present you is based on our subscription program. So we have created for SWOOD 2021, together with Hetish, a new tool that we have called Hardware Installer that will allow you to actually create automatically SWOOD boxes based on the Hetish database directly on your SWOOD libraries. So here, with this first release, you will have access to more than 290 drawers references from 8-ish, so we'll have Avantech, Avantech Hue, RC-Tech, Inotech, and more than 30 hinges with intermat and senses. So let's see how it looks. So if I go on Tools, SWOOD Design here, you can see that now I will have this hardware installer available. So if I open it here, you will be able to see that here I will be able to sort the SWOOD boxes that I want. So I can choose, for instance, drawers, hinges, the sizes, the range of the product, and so on. And then when I download it, they will be directly downloaded within my SWOOD libraries. So here, if I go on my Avantech, you can see all the new Avantech that I just have downloaded. And now, if I choose one of them, and if I right click on them, you will be able to see that here I will be able to use this new SWOODBox insertion capabilities. And so here, very easily, use those SWOOD boxes that I just downloaded to add here my drawers on my desk. So this new tool will be included on the SWOOD 2021 release, and the only condition to access it will be to have active SWOOD maintenance. So that's it for the new features of this new SWOOD 2021 release. I hope you enjoyed those new features. If you have any question regarding this presentation, please do not hesitate to visit our website and to contact us. We'll be happy to answer all the questions that you may have. Thank you very much for your attention and see you soon. Bye.